All right. Welcome, week 13 of the Shane Fletcher Show. It's the area championship edition of this show. Coach, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Coach, for the second straight year, your Honey Grove Warriors are coming to the bi-district play, highly favored against the opposition. And for a second year in a row, you took care of business in the playoffs. Your number 5 Honey Grove Warriors showed no signs of letdown following their first district title in 12 years. And you raced past Elysian Fields 56-20 at Panther Stadium on the campus of Maybank High School. You were quoted as saying you guys played great on defense as usual, but the offense really stepped up and showed out Friday night. You had 10 different guys that received the ball or touched the ball, and Dre Pat led you for all of those.
Love it.
Love it. You wasted no time taking control of the game. You scored 21 points in the first quarter. You held the Yellow Jackets to only 7, and then you had a 14-7 second quarter, and then you went into the halftime 35-14. Yellow Jackets were held scoreless in the third quarter, and we scored 7 points and before we finished them off 14-6 in the fourth quarter run. 56-20 was the final score. Dre Pat sets the tone for the game with his first half performance. True or false?
100%. True.
Dre Pat, 3 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. Great performance for the senior wide receiver. Got to play a little bit of what would you call it, like a slot back?
Yep, a slot receiver.
All right. So how well do you think your team stuck to the game plan Friday night against the Yellow Jackets?
I thought it was very good. Like I said, I thought we finally clicked offensively. We've spit and sputtered and scored points, but I never felt like it really meshed until Friday night. And then, last year and the year before, we were that team that would be playing and all of a sudden would just explode and score 2 or 3 touchdowns. And that happened Friday night. Right before halftime, we scored 2 touchdowns in a minute. The last one was 7 seconds left. And I'd ask you when we came out, I'm like, is it 35-14? And you're like, yes, sir. And I'm like, oh, okay, I thought it was, but I wasn't for sure.
Yeah.
But no, we had that explosion right before half, and that really broke their will.
How do you think your younger guys handled the pressure of the playoffs?
I thought they did a great job. We've had some young kids have to step up this year because of injuries and this and that. And we're getting healthy at the right time, but I think that early playing time really helped them develop.
How do you feel like your defense did against number 4 Brandon Juju Kennedy?
Nunu.
What did I say?
You said Juju.
Juju. Yeah, I meant Nunu.
I can't remember his stats. He had a couple of fade balls he caught, and against us, that's going to happen sometimes because we're so aggressive defensively. But he didn't run the ball for very much. I'll tell you that, which nobody really has this year. I think they had. I don't know. Do you have the stats? How many yards did they have? 130.
Let me go look real quick. I got it pulled up, but I don't think it was very many. They had 61 yards.
Of total offense?
No, rushing yards.
Yeah.
Rushing yards. So next up is the Hearne Eagles. Where the heck is Hearne, Texas at?
Right outside of College Station.
Well, that's a haul.
It's a haul.
So where did y'all come up playing at Tyler Rose at?
Well, the coach from Hearne had called me earlier in the week and said that he had Ennis, and I'm like, hey, I'm good with that. That's a good spot, kind of midway between us. Tyler's not. If you drew a straight line from Honey Grove to Hearne, Tyler's not in the middle. However, what it is it's about the same drive for both of us.
Gotcha.
So Friday night after the game, he called, and I was like, hey, I'm ready to play at Ennis. We'll do the coin flip. And he goes, oh, Coach Ennis never called me back. And I'm like, oh. So anyway, we started scrambling around, and Saturday morning, a buddy of mine used to work for me over there at Gilmer. Text him. I'm like, hey, what's the guy? Who do I need to talk to about getting Tyler Rose? And he sent me his number, and I said, hey, does anybody have it? I mean, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes for us, 2 hours and 26 minutes for them. It's an iconic stadium.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Tyler Rose, Earl Campbell.
Field,
I mean,
yep.
I couldn't even name all the NFL players that's played in that stadium. So to get to play in a stadium like that is going to be really, really cool. There's not too many in East Texas that are really iconic stadiums, but this is definitely the one.
So next up for the Warriors is the Hearne Eagles. They knocked off the 2023 2A Texas State champ last week, the Timpson Bears, by a score of 31-21. This team was a runner-up in the Centerville district, only losing to them in the first district game of the year. Since then, they've went on a 6-game winning streak. To me, just watching film, they're very pass-heavy, very aggressive on the defensive line. Their coach, Alonzo Jackson, he actually played at Blinn Junior College and then went on to play 2 seasons at Washington State.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. They've lost 17 off last year's squad. They returned 17. Their playmaker is going to be their senior wide receiver, Darleon Mitchell, and then linebacker Jamarjon Benford.
Yeah, number 10. He's a dude.
Yep. So don't really have any statistics on them other than what they score. So I'm going to kind of do by the numbers. We score 40.27 points per game. They score 19.45 points per game. We only allow 15 points a game. They give up 20 points a game. So, what can you really say about this Hearne Eagles squad that you've noticed so far?
Well, they got several young kids that are playing. They got a couple of freshmen, some sophomores, and their pre-district schedule was brutal. I mean, they played more than like we did. They played Lexington,
Right.
who's top 5 in 3A. They played a very tough non-district schedule, and it looks like those kids have grown up.
Yeah.
They don't have a ton of depth. A lot of their kids play both ways, which in 2A football you're going to get that. But they look kind of like Honeygrove in the fact that their kids love to play defense. Our kids love to play defense, and they love to play defense.
Well, I think they said, I was just reading articles and watching videos today. They said basically their defensive line is the heart of their team.
Yes, and they got 3 guys on the defensive line that are very, very good. We're going to have to do a good job.
So what do they do well?
Speed. I mean, they're going to get after you. They're not a reading defense. They're choking.
I am. Water went down the wrong way. Oh, there we go.
They're not a reading defense. They're just an attack. And they're going to get in the gap and go. And their theory is somebody's going to leak. And if they do, then they're going to make a big play. But yeah, they're a very pressure filled man defense. That's going to bring a lot of heat.
So would you say this is probably the first team that plays defensive well that we played this year besides Marlin?
No, Winsboro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah, Winsboro. I thought Blue Ridge was good defensively.
I forgot about them.
And Cooper. Cooper outstanding defensively, man. Those guys, they're so schooled up over there. That they're going to be good no matter what they put on the field, and that's why they're still alive.
Yeah.
But these guys are different, in the fact that they're got their ears pinned back. Where Cooper's not that way. Cooper's a very strict. They're a reading defense, and they're going to do what they're supposed to do on every snap of the football. With these guys, they're just going to go. And sometimes they're going to mess up.
Yeah.
But they're fast enough in the back end that if you do bust one, they'll go get you.
So what was your message this week for the team against Hearne? Or what's your message going to be?
Oh, Mo, you got to keep Mo.
You do.
And you guys out there wondering, that's momentum. You got to keep Mo on your side and not let them get excited. If you let them get excited, they're going to play harder. We got to jump out on these dudes quick and hopefully make some things happen. Our defense has got to show up and play, which they will. Our defense always shows up and plays. So, if we can keep Mo on our side, I like our chances.
So, yeah, I mean, you just basically answered that next question. What are the keys to victory? What, keeping momentum on our side and playing defense.
And don't turn the football over.
And you got to say no dumb penalties.
No stupid penalties.
Because you say that every week.
No stupid penalties.
There you go. Don't want to change it up. We don't want to change the juju up.
Right.
So, Well, look, moving along, we're going to recognize some guys from some area regional awards. Up first is our Jake Shockley Players of the Week. I kind of base it. So if you're wanting to know, I go based off max preps.
Right.
So I believe y'all do awards, or your coaches somehow select the awards, or max preps might do it based off the statistics. So that's kind of what I go by
Right.
whenever I pick stats. So our first Jake Shockley Offensive Player of the Week is going to be Rylan Morris. Rylan accounted for 4 touchdowns, 2 by air, 2 on the ground, had 131 passing yards, and had 153 rushing yards. So congratulations to Rylan on that. Defense had Brody Mahan. Brody had 14 tackles, 7 of those solo, 2 sacks, and 3 quarterback pressures. Our Jake Shockley overall MVP of the week is going to be Dre Pat. Had 88 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Really, just like I said in the beginning, the tone setter for the game.
Yep.
Just a great job by Dre. You know,
So nice to have him back.
well, I'm gonna tell you what. So I think you heard this conversation. Our quarterback was laying on the ground a few times.
Sure.
And Dre he was very adamant. Do not allow your quarterback to lay on the ground. Pick him up.
Pick him up.
Pick him up. And man, that's the kind of things I love to hear. I'm sure you love to hear that as well. But some guys were looking around like, what is he saying? Pick your quarterback up.
Yeah.
That
get him
sends
off the ground.
that sends a message. Sends 2 messages. 1, you better block for him better. 2, you better not allow him to get on the ground.
Exactly.
So great job by Dre. We had 6 guys. I think this is probably a record here, but we had 6 guys that were selected for Smoky.com East Texas by-district honor roll. We had Rylan Morris, Dre Pat, Levi Beavers, Brody Mahan, Mason Banker, and Keandre Boogie LaShaw.
Boogie.
Boogie. So Beavers, this is a crazy stat here I'm fixing to give you. Beavers, Mahan, Banker, and LaShaw accounted for 71 tackles.
Wow.
5 sacks, 8 quarterback pressures, 5 tackles for loss, and 1 interception.
Yeah, we were getting after them children. them children we got after them.
So, and then I think you got the text message a while ago, just like I did. But Dre Pat, it says vote today. We finally got a winner.
Yes, we did.
We finally got a winner. I told you at lunch. I said, hey, get out there and tell everybody to vote for Dre, and he'll win.
Yep.
And he did, man. Awesome job by the Honey Grove community voting for that young man.
Very deserving.
Absolutely. So congratulations to all the Warriors on getting their recognition this week. I know really none of that matters.
No.
None of it matters. They won a victory. That's all they care about. They don't care about the newspapers. They don't care about the Players of the Week stuff. They want to win a ball game.
That's it.
So moving on to news and knuckleheads, man, I'm going to tell you what. It has been very hard to find some knucklehead stuff.
Has it?
I texted Gary. I was like, hey, do you have any knucklehead stuff? He's like, man, everybody's acting good.
I guess so.
So, but I do have some news stuff. Saw it in the news today. Mississippi College is changing its name, and it's eliminating its football program. This is a program that's been around since 1904.
I saw that because the head coach was like, hey, we don't have jobs anymore.
Yeah. So they're discontinuing their football program. They're going to put more towards Division II play across its 17 remaining sports and facility upgrades. Discontinuing our football program is a difficult decision. We acknowledge the program's legacy and the deep connection to many student athletes, alumni, and supporters of the program. I want to emphasize this. We will always consider them part of our MC family, said the athletic director. We will support our current student athletes as they seek to continue their education at MC. Man, them dudes ain't going to continue their education at MC.
No.
They're getting out.
Well, and
they're going to finish their classes and go.
I saw this one time before up in Oklahoma. Cameron University won the national championship in 1984. And then my sophomore year of college, they dropped the football program.
Wow.
And I was going to school there my freshman year, and then they dropped the football program. And I'm telling you that place has not been the same. It has not been the same since that happened.
I mean, to have a program since 1904, I mean, there's a lot of history, legacy there. I mean,
did they give a reason?
Not really. I mean, watching the interview with the head coach, he was just like, they just come in and tell us we're no longer have a program.
That's unbelievable.
Going to change it to Mississippi Christian University. So, there's only about 5,000 students in that college.
Right.
Yeah, but well, moving along, we got the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They revealed 25 modern era players on the ballot for its class of 2025. 5 of the players could be chosen in their first year of eligibility: Eli Manning, Luke Kuechly. I can't ever say his name right. The linebacker from the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
That's all I know. Terrell Suggs, Earl Thomas, and Adam Vinatieri. There's 20 other: Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Anquan Bolden, Antonio Gates, James Harrison.
James deserves to be in there.
Hey, did you know that he is in a show? He's a wrestler.
Really?
It's called Heels. You can find it on Netflix.
Yeah.
But he's a wrestler on that show.
Yeah. Heels is a pretty cool show. I didn't know he was on it, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a wrestler in that.
That's the bad guys are wrestling Heels.
Yeah, Heels. Yep. Torrey Holt. But those 25 players represent modern era semifinalists. The Hall of Fame selection committee will vote to reduce that list to 15 finalists who will be announced in December. The final voting will include 15 finalists plus 3 nominees in the senior category, 1 coach, and 1 contributor.
Hey, I saw that list. Man, there is some names on
I know.
that list.
I'm leaving some off.
Outstanding.
Vince Wilfork, Reggie Wayne, Darren Woodson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, the Jets, man, they've got a mess up in New York.
There's your knuckleheads.
Well, yeah. So, he made the decision to fire the general manager, Joe Douglas, on Tuesday after 6 seasons. It seems like Johnson's been increasingly involved with things behind the scenes lately after their 9-10 loss to Denver in Week 4. Basically, what he suggested to his coaches to sit Aaron Rodgers. Because he feels like Aaron Rodgers has been the main culprit behind the team's struggles.
Really?
Yeah.
I ain't never known Aaron Rodgers to want to lose.
I didn't either. And then we've got a knuckle. We do have one knucklehead. Good luck. I don't even. Here, can you say that word? Opeleka?
Yep.
Okay, we'll try it. We'll go with it. So Opeleka head coach, which is in Alabama, Brian Moore, has been suspended for the Bulldogs' Round 2 playoff against Hoover. Sources say that the Alabama High School Athletic Association handed down the suspension in part for a violation of the coach's conduct bylaw in Rule 5, Section 3, which states a coach or a non-faculty coach found guilty of immoral or unsportsmanlike conduct may be disqualified. So this coach was seen on the sideline at Hoover Met last Thursday night during Hoover's Round 1 game against Fairhope. Opeleka played Florence on Friday night at home, so while scouting a future opponent in person is permitted, Moore had gained access to the field with a state-issued playoff credential intended for Opeleka student media. So he got a student's media pass and then went down on the field, and you can see on this picture, they have a picture of him on the sideline.
Oh, wow.
With his state-issued credential. So, but what's so crazy is earlier this year, Opeleka's Region Foe Enterprise was involved in an improper scouting, which resulted in suspension. Wildcats head coach Ben Blackman was suspended for participating in illegal filming of Opeleka's game against Dohan.
Them boys dirty over there.
They just flipping the script on each other,
boys
man.
Dirty over there.
They just flipping the script over there. So, sounds like some youth football stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, let's talk about touchdowns and tangents. Well, speaking of youth football, guess where we get to go Sunday?
Where?
Jerry World.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to take our 3rd and 4th grade team. We're going to play down in Jerry World, play 4 games.
That'd be cool.
So, we get to do the tour of the stadium, the locker rooms and stuff like that. We're just kind of getting it ready for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're setting the
Getting
tone.
it warmed up?
Getting it warmed up, right? We're getting that
so.
grand tour,
I
right?
hope
So, talking about touchdowns and tangents, man, put 2 great quarterbacks on here. Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, head-to-head this weekend, Oklahoma versus Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Man. It's going to be a good – well, no, it ain't. It ain't going to be a good game.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is because I'm fixing to pick Alabama.
Are you
Roll
really?
Tide.
So it's shaping up to be a high stakes matchup between the two teams with contrasting seasons. Oklahoma, they're struggling this season. They have a 5-5 overall record, 1-5 in the SEC. Um, defensively, Oklahoma has shown strength against the run, but struggles in the secondary, which could be an issue against Alabama's dynamic passing game. This game could define Oklahoma's season, especially in front of a home crowd. And then you got Alabama, man, they rolling, right? They beat LSU. They beat some blind school last week, Mercer or something.
Maine.
Mercer, right? But I think the key battles for this game is going to be the Alabama offense versus the Oklahoma secondary, and then the Sooners O line against the Alabama's defensive line. I think that's going to be a good matchup. You know, many analysis expect Alabama to win. They're predicting a score 30-16 in Bama's favor. I think it's going to be a good game.
I remember not so long ago, Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Not too many years ago.
So let's talk about college pick'em. You went 3-2. I went
Above
4.
500.
I went 4-1.
Oh,
So I'm 36-19. You're 30-25.
I missed the Navy game, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah.
No.
Wasn't it
Yeah,
Tulane?
yeah. We missed the Navy game, and then you missed the Tulsa ECU game. So this week we got some good games. This week we got number 9 Indiana versus number 2 Ohio State. Ohio State's 13.5-point favorites. We got BYU versus Arizona State. There's some playoff implications in this game.
100%.
Right, and then there's another game at the very bottom that I'm going to talk about. Army versus Notre Dame, 9-0 versus 9-1. Notre Dame's 14.5-point favorites. And then Alabama versus Oklahoma, Bama's 13.5-point favorites. And then Colorado versus Kansas. Colorado's 2.5-point favorites. Now, Kansas went in. BYU's first loss of the season was last weekend against Kansas.
Right.
So now they're playing Colorado, and they're looking at BYU, Colorado playing for the Big 12 championship.
Right.
So there could be some playoff implications there. So Ohio State or Indiana?
Buckeyes.
Yeah, I'll take Ohio State. BYU, Arizona State.
I'm screaming Mormons at BYU.
I'll go Arizona State. If this was at BYU, I'd probably pick BYU, but it's at Arizona State.
Yeah.
Man, that BYU mascot's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of
Yes.
doing flips and it flips over the golf cart?
Yes.
That's crazy. All right, 9-0 versus 9-1. Army versus Notre Dame.
Man, that. Where's the game at?
It is at Notre Dame, I believe.
As much as I want the Army guys to win, I mean, I got to root for Jadarius Price, Dennis Young Jacket up there at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I got to go with Notre Dame. I just like seeing Army and Navy be good.
All right, I'll go Notre Dame as well.
But if Army wins this game, they're probably going to be in the college playoff. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome to see them in there.
I think there's a few guys, and I could be wrong, there's a few guys from C4 that have committed to Army. I might be wrong. It might
Probably
be
so.
Might be no, it's Air Force. It's Air Force. That's the kid from Pittsburgh, the running back. But all right, Alabama versus Oklahoma.
Roll Tide.
All right, I'll take Alabama. Now this is where we've picked the same games, so I know you're not going to pick this guy, but Colorado versus Kansas.
Well, first of all, I saw an interview this morning with Michael Irvin.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
They asked him. They said, if Dallas chooses Shadur Sanders, do you see father and son on the sidelines for the Cowboys? And he goes, absolutely, yes, sir. And he said, I've been told by notable people that would happen. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, Michael Irvin is on the sidelines in Boulder at games. So, I mean, his notable people is probably Deion.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You talking about a show that would be, man.
I don't.
I'm going Jayhawks.
All right, I'll go Colorado. But I don't see Deion going to Dallas. I actually see Deion going to Florida State.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see him going there.
Yeah.
I don't see him.
He says he's not going anywhere. but a lot of people talk too.
Yeah.
So
He also said he wasn't going nowhere at Jackson State either, and then he ends up taking his whole squad. All right. So you went Ohio State. We went BYU. We went Notre Dame. We both went Alabama. I can't believe you picked Alabama.
because I'm terrible at this. If I pick them,
Oh,
I
you're
lose.
trying to. Okay, I see what
Yeah.
you. Oh, okay. You're trying my method.
I guess.
All right. And then I picked Colorado. You took Kansas. All right. Well, let's talk a little 2-minute drill in the NFL. Man, there were some good games. First one we'll talk about Cowboys Texans. That's man.
I turned it off.
That's a dumpster.
Fourth quarter, I turned it off. It was so bad.
Such a dumpster fire. I mean, just watching Cooper rush and
Wasn't his fault.
no, I mean,
Wasn't his fault.
he didn't really look good as a quarterback. There were several throws that he skipped off the turf. I don't know. I mean,
Dude threw for like 350 though.
yeah, I guess I was just looking at the negative.
They couldn't stop the run. Joe Mixon went
Oh
off
yeah,
on him.
like what, third play of the game? Joe Mixon takes it to the house.
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah. So this game drew 17.1 million viewers, all just to watch the Cowboys get beat by little brother. Do you see them this season kind of just tanking off
Yes.
and then Cowboys
Trying to get that first pick.
Well, all right. So if you have the first pick, if you're Jerry Jones, who are you going to take?
Me, I'm taking that receiver at Arizona, McMillan kid. That dude's an animal.
I'm probably taking the kid from the running back from Boise State.
Yeah, running back, so they're a dime a dozen in the NFL.
Yeah, but look at the problem.
Which now that is a big part of Dallas's problem. They don't
Right.
have any run game,
Right.
but paying dudes to stand over there holding their helmet.
Zeke didn't even look like Zeke.
He hadn't in 3 years.
Yeah. Man, this game was awesome. Chiefs versus Bills.
That's a great game.
Man,
Always is.
31.2 million viewers tuned in to watch that game on CBS. Kansas City held on to their undefeated season in Week 11, and Josh Allen comes in there and gives them their first loss of the
Love
season.
Josh Allen.
Great kid. Many stories about him. He didn't have any offers coming out of high school.
No.
I think he did some junior college routes and then eventually went up to Wyoming, played for them. But, man, he put on an MVP performance.
Yes, he did.
Just that run at the very end of the game.
Yep.
I mean, I showed Becca twice. I said, watch this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just grit, determination. Those are the kind of guys you want leading your team.
100%.
Man, I got to watch this game, Steelers and Ravens.
Ooh, who needs touchdowns?
You're right, man. The kicker, man, he tied the franchise record. Chris Boswell did with 6 field goals in the 18-16 victory. Man, that was a good game.
It's ironic, too, because the greatest kicker of all time missed 2.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker missed 2
Yeah.
field goals.
And then Broncos and Falcons. I think this was probably Bo Nix's welcome party. Probably played the best game of his career on Sunday, and he's being recognized for, I think, Rookie of the Week. He threw for 4 passing touchdowns. They rolled the Falcons 38-6. He completed 85% of his passes for 307, 4 touchdowns.
It just goes to show you, man, everybody's got their place to fit. You know, Russ didn't have a great year at Denver and sent him over to Pittsburgh, and here we are, 8-2. He's the only undefeated quarterback left in the NFL. Probably just jinxed him.
You probably did. But you got the Cleveland Browns this weekend.
Yeah, that's rivalry, man.
I mean, you got Jameis Winston, the
rivalry.
logoless Browns.
Yeah.
So that ought to be a good game. And then you got Packers, Bears. Normally a game that's you see at Thanksgiving. They went ahead and got it over with. But Jordan Love and the Packers made just enough plays to squeeze out another win over the Bears. This time it took a late touchdown and a blocked field goal. Love ran for the go-ahead score in the closing minutes, and Green Bay hung on to beat the Bears 20-19 when Carl Brooks blocked a Santos kick from the 46-yard line when its time expired. Seen lots of blocked field goals this year.
Yeah, I know.
So what is the rule in high school about where the center's at?
Where he's at?
Well, I mean, like, can you line
you
up?
cannot line up over the center.
Okay, so in NFL, them dudes, you snap it, you better be ready.
Yeah, we used to could. But
Can you
He's
jump?
protected. You can't even hit him until he raises his head up.
So if he stays down, it's probably
Yeah.
better off
Yeah.
just staying down. Okay. Because like I've seen some high school games where they jump over the A gap, but as long as they don't touch him.
Yeah, they don't touch him.
Okay.
And now they've made it a rule that if you rush the kick, your hand has to be in the grass.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you can't rush from up position now.
Wow. That's totally different.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some top 10 teams. Top 10 in the state really didn't change, but it's going to change this week.
It is this week.
I can assure you it's going to change this week. So coming in the playoffs, we're still. I don't even really think they change
They
the
don't.
the rankings, but this kind of show you the top 10 teams after by district round. You got number 1 Stanford going to be facing off against number 8 Panhandle.
Banger.
That's a banger. Number 2 Refugio versus Thorndale. Their next round game is going to be a banger.
Frio Ganado.
Right?
Yeah.
Sunray versus Holly. Banger.
Banger.
Right? Ganado versus Crawford. I think Crawford kind of stays in it
No.
first quarter.
70 spotted.
You think so?
Yes.
Ah,
They're going to get 70
I think
spotted.
first quarter, and then they just blow it out.
No, they 70 spot.
And then Honeygrove versus Hearne.
Go Warriors.
Go Warriors. Mason versus Weimer. Holly versus Sunray. Number 8 Panhandle, like I said, versus Stanford. Mildred going to take on probably their first test of the year against De Leon. And then number 10 Hamilton versus Frankston. So
That'll be a good game.
That will be a good game. And both those 9 and 10, Mildred and Hamilton are 11 and 0.
See, Frankston switched over from the region of Doom and over there with us, and they go over there, and now they're like, hey, this ain't so bad over here.
So, talking a little bit about the playoffs, I'm going to pull up the bracket a little bit. Once again, just kind of want to explain that. Top 4 teams in each district qualify. Divisions are pre-split. Teams are placed in their divisions bracket. 6 rounds, 5 rounds now, finishing at the state championships at Jerry World starting on December 18th, and they go through the 21st. So, let's look at some brackets real quick. Region 1, we'll start in Region 1. Sunray and Holly, they're battling out in the new stadium in Lubbock. Panhandle and Stanford go at it on Lubbock on Thursday night. So it's possible that 2 ranked teams could be knocked out of the playoffs after the second round.
Yep.
Man, I bet you those crowd. I watched a little bit of the Sunray game last week. I mean, we saw him at the state 7-on-7. That quarterback is as advertised. I mean, that's a good group. Man, those are going to be some great games.
It's going to be good ones.
And then you got Region 2, you got Frankston versus Hamilton, Corinne's versus Tioga. Coleman, who comes off the upset victory over Wolf City, will take on Axtell, and then De Leon versus Mildred. And then our region, you got us and Hearne, go Warriors, right? You got Garrison and Wascom.
Banger.
Man, that's going to be a slugfest.
Banger.
That is going to be a slugfest between these two teams. Garrison beat Wascom in week 1 by 1 point, and I believe Wascom's quarterback was out whenever they played that game. But that's going to be a great game.
Two great programs.
Yep. Beckville versus Shelbyville.
Banger.
That's going to be a great game. And then Cooper versus Joaquin. They're going to battle it out, you know.
There could be 100 points scored in the Shelbyville-Beckville game.
Oh, absolutely. You got the Price kid at running back. You got the quarterback from Shelbyville, DJ Barnes. I mean,
yeah, there could be a lot of points scored.
you know, my source down in Shelbyville, man, he's like, we don't play no defense.
Yeah, just trying to outscore.
We're going to outscore them, right?
Football.
Right. I really watch the Cooper Joaquin game. I think that's going to be a good game.
It'll take about 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about all it'll take.
So, but just looking at this region, we win this game. We play the winner of Garrison versus Wascom. That's going to be a heck of a game too. But second round first.
Get there.
One game at a time.
One game at a time.
Region 4, Schulenburg versus Marlin at Hutto. Weimer versus Mason. Man, a lot of people, I think, are forgetting about Mason.
Punchers.
That's going to be a heck of a game next week if Mason and Marlin both win. That's going to be a heck of a game. You got Crawford versus Ganado.
Mason gets to beat Bobo.
Yeah. That was a dude, man.
That's you got to see him on film versus these guys. He's just a grown man.
Oh, man. How many tackles did he have in that game?
I don't know. I think he put 2 people in the hospital, and one of their moms has a black eye. I think he's a destructive human being.
Yeah, man. So Crawford versus Ganado. Crawford has eight losses on the season.
They're fixing to get 70 spotted.
Think
Hey,
so?
but they're there.
Yeah. And
Very tradition-rich program, but man, Ganado
Crawford Pirates.
Yeah, Ganado's just got the dudes right now.
They do. And then you got Thorndale versus Refugio. Man, just next week, Refugio, Ganado. That's a huge game.
Yeah.
So.
Big rematch from last year.
Yeah.
They played twice last year and split.
Yep. So moving on, Coach, if you want to stay on, you can. We ain't got much left. Talk a little Lady Warrior basketball game information, and we're out of here. Lady Warriors tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, or no, that's tomorrow afternoon. They are going to be in the Saltillo tournament. This tournament's a great tournament for the Lady Warriors. A lot of good teams in it. Lady Warriors are 2-2 on the season. They're in Pool B with Ropes, Carthage, Chisholm, and Hooks. Hooks girls is ranked number 15 in the TABC poll in 3A. The first game tomorrow is going to be at 4:45 against the Lamar County rival Chisholm Mustangs. And then in the night camp, the Lady Warriors are going to take on the number 15 Hooks, Lady Hornets at 7:15. Both of those games, we're going to try to broadcast both of those games on Facebook and YouTube. And then on Friday morning, we got the Lady Warriors at 9:15 versus Ropes. And then 11.
You know where Ropes is?
Not a clue.
Way West Texas. There must be some buddy connections there.
Not a clue.
They're the Ropesville Ropes. That's what they are. That's their mascot, the Ropesville Ropes.
Ropes, Texas.
No, it was Ropesville.
Oh, Ropesville. Lord.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, it's southwest of Lubbock.
It's out there. That's what I'm saying. There must be some buddy connections.
Well, you know, last year, I can't know.
They had the defending 1A state champion there.
Brock was in this tournament last year.
Okay.
I think it was either that or the Prairie Land tournament. I couldn't remember, but I know it was this one. We played Brock. But you know, good tournament for the Lady Warriors. Good luck to those ladies. We'll be there on Thursday and Friday recording or streaming those games. And then we got a little bit of game information. The area championship is Friday night at Tyler Rose Stadium in Tyler, Texas. Your Honey Grove Warriors are going to take on the Hearne Eagles. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Tomahawk Sports Media is going to be producing the academic broadcast on Honey Grove ISD's Facebook page and on Honey Grove Warrior Football YouTube channel.
I like it.
Right? So we'll be there. I think Gervie's going to be the only broadcast this week. Zach's working on a big deal down in Frisco. Not going to be able to get there on Friday night, but wishing safe travels. And then we got early release. Honey Grove ISD is going to have a football send-off in the parking lot for the football team at 1:30, and then buses are going to run at 2 o'clock. And then a little bit of stadium information for you. Like you said, this place is a big deal in the state of Texas.
It is.
In East Texas. So Tyler ISD has a clear bag policy. Also, tickets can be purchased online or at the gate. No cash sales. If you haven't bought your ticket yet, take a little screenshot of this broadcast. There's a little QR code in the corner. You can take that picture, scan it, and then it'll take you right to the page to where you can purchase your tickets for Friday night. We are the visiting team. Gates are going to open at 5:30. If you're a Honey Grove person, you're a fan, you need to enter through gate 7. Okay?
Correct.
The address to Tyler Rose Stadium is 609 Fair Park Drive, Tyler, Texas 75702. It's going to be a good trip.
I want to say something about the deal.
All right.
Everybody in America loves Tomahawk sports, and we're so thankful for everything that it happens, that it brings. But you guys come out. Y'all come out to this stadium. Y'all come watch this game. This is going to be something epic.
Yep.
And I'm talking about unbelievable facility, and we need a big crowd because it's a huge stadium.
It is.
And if your crowd's not very big, it feels like you're playing by yourself. So we would really love to have a big bunch of orange in the
I think
the
we're gonna have a
stands.
great following. I think with school being let out early, I think that's gonna allow people time
I
to.
sure hope so. Y'all come
Uh,
pack them stands.
I got our fellow faithful Steve Thurman. He's in Iowa right now, and he's like, "Hey,
Love him.
need the link? Buying my tickets. Already bought them. Be there." Oh, this is what he said. He said he's gonna get his barbecue. He said he's gonna get his gas.
Stanley's.
He's gonna. Yep.
Hey, if y'all get there early, Stanley's Pit Barbecue in Tyler is worth the wait.
He
It is
said,
legit.
"Bottom locked and loaded. We'll fuel up at Stanley's Pit Barbecue before the game."
Yep.
He's in Des Moines, Iowa right now. It's snowing and wind chilled 18 degrees.
Ooh, ooh.
I told him to keep that stuff there.
Yes.
Right. So, well, now we're in victory formation. This is at the end of the broadcast. Just like to thank Coach Fletcher for joining us every week on the podcast. We're going to be here next week,
Yes, sir.
Turkey edition.
Yes, sir.
Right. So remember, Friday night's game is at Tyler Rose Stadium. Make sure everybody has safe travels if you're going to Saltillo Thursday and Friday, and of course everyone coming to the game down in Tyler Friday night. So guys, if you haven't yet done so, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. TikTok's we had quite a following on TikTok here lately. Right? Got lots of people following us on there. But, guys, see everybody next week on the Shane Fletcher Show for the regional semifinal edition, Turkey Day edition of the Shane Fletcher Show.
Fingers crossed.
Go Big Orange. Warriors fight. We'll see you next week.